basically tell him, you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that irks him. He can't handle that.
He can't handle
Yeah.
it, especially when they tell him. Now, if another journalist tell him, I earned the right. I earned the right to say what I want to say. But when one of those professional guys look at him, they
Yeah.
say, you
Well,
clearly don't know what you're talking about when it comes to my sport.
just like anybody else, they reserve the right to sound stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sports turn to
You
men.
know what I mean?
Games that we played under the sun. Life's lessons came raw. Every challenge faced made us stronger for sure. Running through the dirt with our dreams in the race. Competing for respect. Every heart was in place. Those playground rules, they became our creed. From basketball courts to the fields of speed. We hustle and flow with every passing day. Learning how to stand up when life's in the way. In the schoolyard.
Welcome to another episode of Schoolyard. We got the whole gang back. Last week was just Tommy and I, man.
Yeah,
So
y'all held it down though, brother.
yeah, we got Everyday Saturday Vincent and we got Robin Caruso Mike. just sitting around the world, man. We got everything covered today. Yours truly, Chris Bender. Y'all want to go around and introduce yourselves, man?
Mike Franklin, 32nd and Burks, right across the street from the schoolyard. Retired Amtrak 5.5 years and enjoying life.
Oh, I like that, man.
Yeah. All right. Vincent, everyday Saturday Scott. And Chris stuck me with that name. All right. Newly retired, 36 years with the Philadelphia Mint. What can I say? 32nd Street, right down the street from the schoolyard on the same block, and basically feel like I've known these guys my entire life. Okay.
Well, that's because you have known us your entire life and our
Yeah,
entire lives as well. So that's a good thing. Good thing that we all can come.
Yes.
I'm so happy that we can get together and have this conversation. And from what I've heard from all the reviews and all the people that's been watching us is that they enjoy it. So
introduce yourself, Tom.
And we're enjoying ourselves. My name is Tommy Franklin. I was on last week with Chris. We ended it with I'm in therapy and he needs it. That's how I kind of ended it. He said he had some, but he needed a little bit more. So, we'll see how this goes when we talk about mental health today.
Well, I think we all can use a little bit.
Me and my therapist didn't exactly get along at the end, man. I was questioning some of his some of his strategies, But but it is funny how it ties into what we're going to talk about. We all know every NFL is going crazy, man, because of Marshawn Neilands. He committed suicide. And it's kind of interesting because it reminds me a lot about how he grew up because he scored a touchdown. The last game he scored a defensive touchdown, man. Everybody's like, yeah. And nobody realized the torment that he was going through internally.
Yeah.
Nobody realized that he was still mourning the death of his mom, and died almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Even people close to him. And I thought about how many times, man, that and I'm guilty too. People ask you okay? And you say you're okay, but you're not okay.
Right.
Right. And it started me thinking, like, I wonder how many of our friends, man, who we said you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay. And we just kind of, we keep moving. So some of as we talk about this, it's kind of funny because we answered some of these questions similar in some other conversations we had. But I really want to dive into mental health because I think especially amongst African-American males.
Yeah. People mourn differently. I mean, I've seen people for years and years and years just, keep mourning people. And some people, it's like, all right, get up tomorrow, go to work.
Yeah, that's true. And I think, I know my dad died 51 years ago, and I still wake up a lot of days crying about that. Now, I lost 2 brothers. I cry about them too, but it seemed like my dad, I guess because of the young age or whatever, that's hard to get over.
Yeah.
And I know, Vince, you can relate to that part.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just not mourning. I mean, that's the hardest part of it, but a lot of us have trauma, man, that we just never addressed. Like you can
Yeah.
talk about with your dad. You know, how many
Mhm.
times have you actually said that to somebody before now?
I used to didn't say it at all. I say it more frequently now, but I'll say the first 48 years, you know, I kind of kept it under my own hat, which was not good.
Yeah. I tell you what, that actually used to be a boiling point with me, even though my dad passed when I was 5 years old. I remember so much about him that, you know, believe it or not, kind of formed who I am. Some of the stuff that he did, and I was used to him doing with me and my friends and stuff like that. That my boiling point was I would get into something with somebody, and one person made the mistake of saying something about my father. I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it. It was ambulance action, shall I say.
Ooh. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people, what they don't know about me, growing up, I had a extremely bad temper, but it never showed because I was able to control it. But I did very little arguing, but I would rather fight than argue. All right. I didn't feel like I needed to argue. I feel like I needed to put my hands on you.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point is, if I didn't, my hands would physically shake, and I would would feel that. You know what I mean?
That's something new.
So
I
You
under
and Mike were
all
dangerous. You and Mike were dangerous.
under all that calm growing up
Yeah.
was
What did you say,
and
Chris?
You and Mike were dangerous because see,
I
y'all.
think that's
No,
what-
I'm gonna tell you why. Because they couldn't run from you.
yeah, you're right.
You
It's
couldn't
like,
run. Most people, you can say, okay, I can run and get away.
No,
The two of you can't. You got to be like, you know, Nehemiah the Sprinter or somebody.
Right.
You're trying to escape. That's
yeah,
like,
well,
yo,
yeah,
I can't get away. It's like,
yeah.
that's what makes it scary. I mean, we all got tempers, but it's like, yo, what am I do? I can't run.
Yeah.
That's worse.
It's like, I mean, better to be face up than somebody jump on your neck while you run.
Right.
right.
I mean, I'm laughing because I'm just trying to keep it light, but yeah. But see, Benson is funny because I think you're the prime example. We all had a dark side.
Yeah.
That I think people didn't see. Like we could have went further.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting because it leads me to my first question. You know, for as close as we all were, why did we still feel like we still couldn't let people see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well, the thing is I think around y'all guys, I was the calmest because I felt, you know, the admiration of friendship. You know, you're around people and you know that side of you that you know is going to never come out around you guys because, like I said, y'all was like my brothers. You know, we knew each other well, and that side of me never got out. That was a side preserved for strangers that underestimated me because, like, I was a quiet guy, but I wasn't shy. And I definitely wasn't no chump. So, you know, that wasn't happening like that.
Well, right. And I don't think me especially, I said that nobody took you as shy as you think you were. And nobody
No, but I'm saying
just because of your speed, everybody like, oh, he can't be shy that fast. He can't be that shy and he can't be that reserved. And I definitely know nobody took you as a chump.
Yeah.
No, nobody.
But a lot of people, because you know, I was always quiet, I was always very observant. You know what I mean? But never, you know, like I wasn't that boisterous person, this, that, and the other. I was kind of like, all right, let's get it going. I don't really harp on stuff. I don't now either. I don't, you know, if you can't change it, why let it consume you and drive you crazy?
That's true.
Yeah. And well, just on the subject, and I know Chris said he doesn't want us to, and I won't mention any names, but mental health is real. A lot of people don't even think it's real. A lot of people don't, you know, they don't even think it's real. It don't exist. It's just a sign of weakness. You know, I've heard people say that, you know, but I mean, I knew somebody who suffered from bipolar, and that's a part of that mental health that you You know, they didn't know the other state. I'm not gonna say they didn't know the other side, but it was two sides to this person, and that was diagnosed, you know, at an early age. He ended up going into the Air Force, coming to Yale University, getting a degree at Yale University, and then ended up in the post office. So he was able to, even though he was two people since he was 16, he knew he had two personalities, but medication was needed to control it.
Right.
Yeah.
But over the years,
I want to zero back. I want to zero back because I think what we're talking about right now is part of what the overall discussion is. Because as close as we were, there's still things that we didn't know about each other.
Yeah.
Like until Mike just said what he said. When he said it, I could see it. But until he said it, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
You know, we just, for as much stuff we talked about, we just never had these kind of conversations.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one of the things that's eye-opening that to have an employee that actually works for you, someone that considers themselves very close to you, you know, suffer from bipolar. And it's times where stuff happened and at the job and he would ask to talk to me. Like I was his common point. Like he had flipped out one time and I told the upper manager, I said, look, I'm just gonna take him home. He was like, all right. So I just take him home to his family. He was cool. And later on, his wife called him, thank you, Scotty. Thank you for bringing him home, this, that, and the other. But I think like when he triggered, everybody's like, yo, get Scotty. I eventually had to fire him. But but we still cool today.
Okay.
You know, because I sat down and I explained to him.
He understood.
Yeah. He actually had an incident at the job with a knife. And it's, look, you know, for your own protection, you know, maybe to keep you out of prison, I think it's time for you to part with the United States Mint.
Right.
But I wouldn't expect any of us to act any differently. But it goes back to why we couldn't share stuff like that amongst. We see it in other people, and I think everybody has empathy and compassion. But there's things that we keep inside that we've known each other for years. And, you know,
well, we grew up in the.
Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
We grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and we became adults in the early 80s. But we grew up in that era where, like we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, shake it off, walk it off, run it off. So anything that happened, whether it was physical, mental, anything spiritual, I can't say nothing because I don't want to. And we didn't tease each other about anything, but we was in that era. I know there were times, I mean, Tommy knew about it, but my mom didn't find out till I was in my 30s. I got hit by a car in kindergarten. Running across the street, I was supposed to be going to school, talking to one of the neighbors, the bell rang. I ran across the street, got hit by a car, went up in the air, came down on the man's windshield. Boom! Rolled over, went to school, my ankle and my elbow bleeding. My mom found out I was married already. I didn't get married till I was 32.
Oh my goodness.
But I rolled over the car, the guy, you okay? I said, I'm gonna get a beating if I'm late. And I ran to school. That's when we lived on 18th Street before we moved around. I was in kindergarten.
Wow.
And, you know, I sometimes today my ankle still hurts. Sometimes today my elbow hurts. And I never. Well, you know, that right there, you say mental health, that's mental all kind of ways.
Yeah, it was more important for you to get to school and not be in trouble than am I actually all right?
Right.
But, I mean,
we
look,
lived like we lived across the street from Stokely. We lived right across the street from me, the school I went to in the first and second kindergarten, and first grade.
Yeah.
Right across the street, and all of a sudden I left house in time to get to school, and I'm running my mouth. The bell rang. If I can't be late.
Yeah.
Took off right across the street. Here come my car down the street. Boom! I looked down at the hood of that car. Came down on his windshield. Rolled off and took off running. Sorry, little boy, you okay? You okay? You okay? I'm good. I don't want to get a beating. That's all I said.
Yeah.
But that kind of something, but it is. And like I think about it, like, the suicide rate for African American men is through the roof now. And
Yes.
Yeah.
a lot of it is because we hold stuff in. We don't share stuff. Like Mike, you got like every time we talk, one of these stories come out, man. It's like, yo, yeah, but y'all didn't know this. But it's odd because we didn't. But think about it emotionally. Like if I look back at it, I think about I know we've all had it. I don't even remember ever seeing one of us struggle with our first breakup. You know what I mean? Our first real deep breakup. I just never remember us having those conversations. We talked about everything.
Yeah.
But I just never remember those things, man. I know when my grandmother died, you struggle with it, but you kind of keep it tucked away. Like Vincent said, I had to kind of, a lot of people don't know, because I had some anger issues too, but I had a button that you had to get to.
Yeah.
But I always felt like, Tommy and I talk with all the time, and I always got to the point I felt like I kind of had to prove myself. And I never talked about that.
Yeah.
I had a button you had to get to, but it was always pushed already. So
and your button was with them big red easy buttons like boop.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike? The thing about it is, I think I've seen you angry, and I've seen you pissed off. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference. It's a difference. And I've seen you more angry than I've seen you pissed off. I've seen you get pissed off. That's a whole nother level for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, we never talked about it. It happened.
Right.
We laugh and joke about it, but we never had those deep conversations about like, man, Mike, you were like over the top. Just like here we are years later. Now we having these conversations, but back then we just never really talked about it. We just kind of moved on.
Yeah, but you know what? Growing up, I was fortunate to have. I'm not gonna call it a good support group. I'm gonna say a support person because I had a cousin named Jay. That's like, besides my brothers, one of my favorite people in the world. And we're like maybe a year and a half apart. And even from little kids, me and him have always been able to be open and honest and 100% talk about stuff, how stuff bothered us, how the stuff affected us, and this thing, anything. And I think having that kind of person in your life is important.
Yeah.
And even now, at almost 63 years old, me and him have been close our entire life. I think if something happened to my cousin, it would destroy me.
Wow.
Because we are that close.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always been my go-to. I need to talk to cuz. Give him a call, what's going on? Or vice versa. We'll go out and hang out just to be hanging out. Ain't got nowhere we going, just get in the car, let's drive.
Just hang out, right?
Wherever we end up, we end up. Let's get something to eat.
I give you
let's see
another
a
example.
movie.
When Todd Ford died, we never really talked about that.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
When Todd Ford died, we got together. Everybody nobody ever really said, this is ironic because the only person who actually said how they were feeling of all people was Cliff. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else was kind of like, we just never talked about it. And
it
was devastating. I know it hurt, but we never talked about it.
It was almost as if you couldn't believe that.
I was just going to say that. It was like, because I know we were saying, Ty, we thought he would run through a wall before he was in a building to burn,
Yeah.
Right. And I think we just all accepted that. And because, you heard rumors like, was it an accident? Was it real? And I think we just said, you know what? We don't know. We're going to miss Ty the rest of our lives. Let's move on. And like you said, Chris, that's stuff that we hold inside. And until today, we never really talked about it.
Yeah.
And it was devastating. I mean, I was crushed. What we did, we just kind of got together. We stayed together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had these memories, and we just kind of, I'm not gonna say moved on, but we kind of parked it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Melvin Williams.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Forgot about Melvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I said, man, I guess y'all protecting me. I found out about both of them dying after they had their funeral.
Yeah.
I was down in Morgan. I didn't know about it until.
Oh yeah, forgot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just so because But the larger question is, and I think we're the perfect example. As close as we were, there are always things right now I guarantee that we're probably thinking about.
Right.
You know, that kind of dug us deep that we never really talked about.
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? We talk about everything else. We talk about sports. We talk about this. We talk about that. But
I think because indirectly, is because we grew up at an early age and became friends at an early age, we protected each other indirectly. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to ask that because, you know, we laugh and joke about, oh, Mike, you was a hot temper, but I wouldn't let nobody mess with none of y'all. You know, and I felt like all y'all had my back. But so we kept that, anything that was bothering us, we knew we had each other's back, but we was through that era where I'm not no punk, I'm not no crybaby, so I'm not gonna say something that might be bothering us because me and Tommy talk about like my dad a lot. And we talk about how maybe we should have, as a family, my mom and all of us should have got counseling. And we didn't. But now we say, wow, you know, my dad been dead 51 years and it still hurts. And, you know, we lost other loved ones and it all hurt. Every loved one that you have hurt. Like we talking about Melvin and Todd, how that affected. We talked about Little a couple weeks ago, how, you know, Caveman, all that. We know people that we go, man, I can't believe that. But we kept it inside because protecting each other indirectly, you know, subconsciously, I think we call ourselves protecting each other by not bringing up something that we know hurtful.
That's a good way to look at it. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
And it could I agree with Mike on that. That it was all about us supporting one another in a protective way, you know. Yeah. So we're not gonna. I'm not gonna put my sadness on Vincent or Chris or Mike. I try to, if I can absorb it inside myself, then why am I gonna put that on my brothers? You know. So I looked at you guys and said, nah, they don't need to know all that, you know. Yeah. And then I don't know if I'm taking it as a sign of a weakness or a sign of strength. At the time, I'm thinking it's me being strong for you guys, not putting you guys through that. Not knowing that you guys are probably going through the same
thing, right?
Same thing, especially when it comes down to a death of one of our loved ones like that.
Right.
You know?
Because go ahead.
But just like Chris spoke about early, just like with relationships and your first breakup, you know, and just the mental stress that you feel from that. And we all know about this situation where you feel like you start building this wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you learn from it and you say, okay, well, I made myself vulnerable and that person took advantage of this, you know, and that feeling that I got, I don't want to feel it no more. So I'm gonna build this wall, you know, and that is something that, you know, I talked about that with it's a funny story. Me and my college roommate, our girlfriends broke up with us at the same time. We sitting around looking all miserable. Yeah, I mean, we on the 16th floor looking out the windows like puppies. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and I said, you know what, man? Get this shit. We gonna enjoy it. This was my senior year. So I just had a ball my senior year. After that, I just lost control.
But see, that's excellent because that's not really dealing with it, that's burying.
Yeah.
And I think we do a good job at
it. The funny things. Funny thing is, I'm actually still friends with that person. I mean,
the ex-girlfriend?
What person? The girl?
The ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understood it was a distance thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was to the point where her mom was like, oh, you're going to be my son-in-law. And all this, that, and the other. And then when we broke up, it was kind of like, you know, she had what she had to say. I said what I had to say. And I was like, all right, let's keep it moving.
I'm a sore loser, man. I hold grudges. So,
well, yeah.
You know,
remember what Mike said a couple weeks ago? I wish I never met her.
Right, but I never held a grudge.
Had a grudge? What is a grudge?
Well, you don't consider it a grudge, but You don't consider that a grudge? I wish I never met her.
No, I said I wish I never spoke to
Well,
her. I know.
it could have been. It could have been like a friend of mine. He told his ex. He said, "You are now officially dead to me." I
Ooh.
was like, "What does that mean?"
You are officially
I
wow.
said, "That's kind of harsh." He said,
Yeah.
"I will step over your cold body and Kenzie." I said, "Oh my
Damn.
God."
Wow. Yeah, he couldn't have hung out in the schoolyard with us.
No, but that stuck with me when he said that because it was funny. But then you thought about it, it was like, damn, you have to really hate a person. But she did doing dirty though. So
Yeah.
I can honestly say I don't hate anybody, but my thing is, look, man, I hate losing in everything.
Yes.
Everything.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So if it ain't ended on my terms, I lost.
yeah.
That's always been my philosophy, man. So let me ask you a question then. We've all grown, we got 40, 50 years later. Has that changed? Do you feel more comfortable like maybe talking to your wife or something about those deep feelings, things that you ordinarily wouldn't say?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
as time go, yes. But
Yeah,
early on in the relationship, no, you like you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to be, I don't know how she gonna handle this. I take that. But yeah, as you get older and you be around the same person, you open up more. Like Tommy's my biggest confidant. I can talk to Tommy about anything.
right.
And, you know, I know if I don't want it to go nowhere else, it's not gonna go nowhere else. And if I want the world to know about it, he'll question you. That's what you want, boom, and then okay, we'll let everybody know.
Yeah, and that outlet right there is very important
Yeah.
because rather than just holding it into yourself, you're able to speak to somebody
Hmm.
and get an objective opinion that's somebody that you love and that's going to be honest with you 100%.
And
Because
y'all
my,
know
my
Tommy is a year younger than me, but Tommy
yeah
was always older than me when it came to like, all right, Mike. He would say,
yeah
Mike, you was wrong on that one. Well, no, I
yeah,
wasn't.
but having that honest opinion is important.
Yeah,
You
and you
know what I mean?
respect it, right? You
Yeah,
respect that. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I just to throw not throwing the wives under the bus, but Chris and I every now and then, we've been with our wives for over 40 years, and every now and then we was like, who is she?
Hmm.
Because they come up with something that they held in that we don't even notice. Who is this person? I've been with her for 40 years, and now what's that? That's
yeah.
not the response I'm looking for. So I guess that relates back to somebody else holding something in and
Hmm.
not as Mike was just saying, they over the years they finally say, well, I'm comfortable now to tell you now that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
how it was. That's how it was. I mean, the worst story I heard I tell people was I know that my aunt was married for uh, 9, 10 years, and then and her daughter lived
In
down
South
south with
Carolina,
her mother, and then
with her grandmother.
my grandmother, and then my grandmother called and said, "Come get your daughter to get too fresh." So her and her husband went down to pick up the daughter, and then when they picked up the daughter, the husband says, "Oh, is she gonna stay with us?" And she says, "Well, she is my daughter." And they were married for like 9 years, and she never
Hmm.
told him that
He had a daughter.
She had a daughter.
that she had a daughter.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, because you
But you know what?
and if you know my aunt, she laughed the whole way.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing to her, and he was sitting there with amazing. Now, a lot
Yeah.
of men at that point would have said, "Wait a minute, we've been married for 9 years, and you had a daughter." And
I
I
never
mean, now
knew nothing about this. Yeah.
you've seen it on the other foot where a man might have had a
Yeah.
child, but you don't normally see it where a woman had a child and a
Right.
But,
husband.
but,
Right.
but I think Mike hit it on the head when he said that, especially early in a relationship, and I mean early, I'm talking about usually the first 5, 6 years, you do wonder how they're going to react to stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do. You think
Yeah.
because Tommy and I were laughing. We kind of ended on this note when he said he had therapy, and I said I need therapy because I don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't. I just I and I know why because it's like a long, 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 and I'm not gonna say the name, but I'm just the last person I really trusted in Sheridan. torpedoed me badly,
Wow.
man. So I just never ever, and I'm talking about going back to Stokely schoolyard days. I'm talking, yeah, man. So I don't talk to anybody, man. That's not a good thing. But that's why I was laughing. I said, I do need therapy. I do need therapy. I ain't gonna lie, I need therapy. But
gotta find the right one for you.
Yeah, I guess. I'm comfortable with me.
You got to get in the mirror and say, "Look, me."
Yeah.
See, I look at it like this way: as long as I'm not hitting me and swinging at me and cursing at me, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's hope you don't take it that far.
When I said the cross, but see, I think I'm the perfect example because it's not like I haven't had opportunities just for some reason. For something happened along. In a nutshell, this goes back to my relationship with on the Trona Street. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get into names and everything. And there was somebody who I confided in, and Tommy knew what I'm talking about, who was telling on me everything, everywhere I went, everything I did, and I'm like, how is people finding this stuff out? Yeah, man, it was somebody that was really, really close to me, man, and I found out 2 years later. To a certain sister was like, "Hey, yo, this is really what's going on," and it just ever since then, man, I was like, man.
Yeah, that's you'd be surprised people that you come in contact with that you think are genuine and it's really jealousy,
Yeah. But it's my fault because I just never let outside of y'all, and we don't see each other. I just don't let people get that close. I know a lot, and Tom, I know a lot of people, but I just don't. Yeah. There's somebody who I would feel comfortable, and the sad part about it, Tommy can tell you this: I've taken a lot from a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Well, I think because we were so trustworthy and loving of each other, we all developed, I
missed that. You call it what, Mike?
Yeah. You're breaking up,
Don't
Mike.
take the kindness for weakness. I have my pleasure. I'm breaking up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we good. We good.
Okay.
In a bad spot in this house.
I tell people if I have a threshold, don't me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
His signal is weak.
I would tell people, I said, don't take a kindness for weakness. Let me move both. Is this better?
It's going in and out, but we get the gist of it. But see, I don't know. For me, it was like it's kind of funny, ironic, because I know today, all these years later, if I was to say something, y'all probably get mad at me. Y'all years later. So it's like I just, you live and you learn. Like I didn't tell Tommy about a year ago, Tommy?
Yeah, maybe a year and a half. Yeah.
I think about maybe a year and a half ago, and I finally said, so you just kind of get used to flowing. So to me, I just, I deal with it. That's just been my philosophy, man. And I think which leads me to our next question, because and how much pressure do you feel like being a father, being a husband, being a Black man in America, just trying to do the things that you do? Is there pressure? Do you feel any pressure?
Oh, there's pressure. There's definitely pressure. I mean, just if you look at yourself, and I often look at being
as a Black man in America,
being the head of my household in general. It's kind of like if something falls short or go wrong with me, who do I turn to?
Right.
It's like everybody relying on you. It's all eyes on you. So you feel this extra pressure to not be vulnerable, and that's where some of us as Black men falter at, because we feel like we have to be invincible at some point when really, in fact, we just human. You know what I mean? What happened to your friend down the street can happen to you tomorrow. We're just human beings. And, accepting that is a big deal. But being a Black man, head of a household, is a lot of pressure, especially somebody that has a lot of kids. I only had one kid, but, it was still pressure.
I got 5, so I understand.
Yeah.
Because everybody's individual and you got to deal with everybody differently.
Yeah, but when stuff get hot, who they turn to? Yeah.
Mike, you're about to say something?
And yet somewhat the same. I was saying, I agree. I was agreeing with Vince. I'm breaking up again.
You froze for a
Right.
minute.
Yeah, you went in and out.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying I agree with Vince. I said because when it gets rough, everybody turns to that man in the house.
Yeah. You're expected to have all the answers.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
Mhm.
So what did you think? Well, Tommy, you go first. You got something you want to share on this?
Yeah, I mean, being a black man in America is probably the most pressure. Just because you have to understand your position. Unfortunately, is that you're not going to be treated fairly, and
Right.
so your position then is saying, well, I'm not being treated fairly, but everybody around me, I'm going to treat them as fair as I can within the confines of this country.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So it's the you're just not going to be treated fairly, and I'm not going to say sometimes maybe, but all the times not even close.
Well, my motto has always been, I'm gonna treat people how I expect them to treat me.
Mhm.
And with me off the bat, you have my full respect, but you earn my disrespect.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, so
I like that.
if I meet you, I'm gonna greet you, and I'm gonna feed off of you, you're gonna feed off of me. You get disrespectful, now you're earning my disrespect.
Mhm.
I like that. Or if you feel like you need to approach me aggressive, now you done earned the disrespect off the bat.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I like
Because
that. I respect you from the door, but
yeah,
if you go wrong, you will earn my disrespect. I like that. I like
you
that.
do. But I mean, you do. You have my full respect. I mean, I'll tell you a quick job story. When I became a manager in the numismatics department, I was the frontline supervisor in charge of the silver, gold, and platinum. And I had some contractors come in. They came by the cage. I was doing a physical count. And I told them from the door, can I help you? They looked at me and was like, no. They walked in the office, talked to my mechanic and said, we're here to meet with Vincent Scott. He said, oh, you probably passed him out in the cage. He's doing inventory. They weren't looking for a black man.
Right, right. I've had that several times.
All right. So
Mhm.
then when they came back and talked to me, I said, well, look at what time it is. It's lunchtime. I see y'all in about an hour.
Mhm.
And I just walked off. And they went to my boss, and you know what he told them? He treated y'all exactly how he should have. We end up not doing business with them or nothing. And the bad thing about it, I had been to the factory, I had looked at the equipment. I actually did the factory approval test on the equipment. And they had spoke to my boss about how knowledgeable I was and everything. But for them to walk in there and see me there and walk by me like,
Right.
this guy in here just counting some shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And even if they'd have just said, look, we're looking for Vincent Scott, I'll say, oh, yeah, I'm him. And everything would have went smooth. But if
Right,
they
right. But
came in the wrong way,
they just assume right off the bat, there's no way that black guy is Vincent Scott.
yeah. So
Yeah.
in that, they earned my
Disrespect. Right. Mhm.
you know what I mean?
So how much of a difference do you think it is between growing up and now? Like for instance, growing up, and I shared this when I did Reggie's funeral, and that was the first time I ever said it. I always felt like I had to fit in.
Yeah.
I always felt like I had to fit in because I was kind of Johnny come lately to the schoolyard and all those things. I did, and it's funny because even talk to you now, I still have some of those character traits.
Yeah.
I still have those character traits.
I guess because I knew you since the first grade, I never felt like you had to fit in. You was already in.
Yeah.
No, y'all, and I said the same thing.
Yeah,
I said,
I don't think
I've never felt like I was not a part of the Franklin family. I said that same day, but a lot of stuff we deal with is internal.
Mhm.
Is internal. I just never felt like that from your mom on down the thing. But I think this goes back to some of the stuff we talk about, the stuff mentally and emotionally that we internalize.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and sometimes it doesn't always allow us to see things the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's different, man. It's just definitely. So let me ask you a question. What do you think is one of your number one stressors? What you think would probably be the biggest threat to your mental health?
Well, for me, it's easier, probably than you guys because of my illness, multiple sclerosis. You know, multiple sclerosis is a lot of my flare-ups and is caused by stress. So I have to try to avoid the stress at all costs. So when I find out what is my biggest stressors, I have to try to avoid them because if I don't, I will be flared up and probably not walking or talking. So I find out things that stress me, you know, as simple as weather's change or somebody didn't do something that I thought was fair, you know, then I have to either pray about it or meditate about it or get it away from myself. Surprisingly, what your biggest stresses are, you may not even realize it. You know, it could be something very small, as you know, like you said, somebody doing something that you know, why are you doing that? You know, that's not right. You're hurting people unnecessarily. You know, so that kind of stuff, you know, I have to try to avoid.
Okay.
You know what I would say? Being married.
This is being recorded, Mike. This is being recorded. This is being recorded.
Oh my goodness.
I think the hardest job.
I ain't want to
in
throw
the
that out there
world.
like that, but thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. My man.
You say that's your biggest stressor? Wow, that's
I
something.
think that being
Let me say
married is
this.
the hardest job in the world.
Look, I think I should have said this before we started. You know, this is going to be the first official show on the podcast.
Okay. Oh,
We are legitimately
you know
a channel
what?
now. I should have said that before we started, but anyway, go
All
ahead.
right. Well, it's cool. I'll tell you something. I'm going to throw a name out there that all of y'all probably know because y'all remember Miss Johnson's store.
Yes.
You remember the old guy, Fred McCray? He used to work in there.
Yes.
His name comes up all the time.
He seen me flare up at somebody one time and he grabbed me, he pulled me aside, and I still remember this. He looked me dead in my eyes and it made so much sense to me. He said, you know what? Every time you allow somebody to get you that angry and that riled up, it takes time off your life, whether it's a second, a minute, or an hour. Preserve that time.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody get you like that. Just think about every time you get like that, you losing life.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuck for some reason. As a young kid, maybe about 12, 13 years old, that stuck. And I still live by that. You know, if I see myself getting to that point and I have an opportunity to turn and walk away, I will. I'll walk off, you know, because it's not worth me losing my life, whether it's a second, minute, or hour.
I got to double back to Mike so he can expand upon that if he would like to. So you might. You
already in enough trouble as it is.
I'm not in trouble. I tell my wife all the time, I've been with you 35 years. I can say whatever I want.
There you go. There you go.
So, you know what? It's funny.
I'm just saying because we talk about how we knew each other. We were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old when we met each other. So we grew up together. When you get your wife, you meet that person as an adult. Yeah. And so she's in her ways, you in your ways, and then you grow up together again. Yeah. And that's the hard part to me because everybody has their own ways. And as an adult, it's easy to grow up with somebody as a kid and you mold each other, you grow together. But when you become an adult, you have to learn and pick and choose what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And you bring that together. And that's a hard job. And maybe because like I came into a relationship with Carol, I had 3 kids. She had 1. So we blended a family together. Right. And I mean, we doing good. We made it, but it was some challenging moments. Yeah.
Well, I think that's what I was trying to say, I guess, in some kind of way, is that you have a past. And how much of that past you willing to share with the other person. Right. And when that and the timing of when it comes out is when you're ready, you know, like I said, when Chris and I will call each other and say, hey, you know, what happened to that? I didn't know that. You know, you've been married to a person for a long time and you didn't even know that about them.
Right.
You know, that's who they are.
I think it's different. I think what Mike is talking about is, and I get that was very eloquently put, Mike. So you just saved yourself. You just brought yourself back. No, because I do, because we all have to go through an adjustment period. Like, this is not the schoolyard. You know what I mean? This is not, I'm not with Mike, Tommy, Vincent, and Joe and all these people that, you know, I'm in this other relationship now. You know, you do. So I mean, for me, it's funny because, you know, I still hate failing. That's one of my biggest phobias, man. I hate failing, man. It's like, you know, that drives me. I don't like failing. And that's like one of my biggest fears, man, is coming up short in anything. As a husband, you know, in my profession, whatever I do, that's my thing. That's the thing that probably causes me the most unrest.
Yeah.
You know, if I feel like, you know, I'm not, and it's me. It's always me being hard on me. Just like we talked about the schoolyard, and Mike said, "Hey, you always one of us." For me, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I always felt like I had to prove myself over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know, and there was no reason. I couldn't sit here and give you one specific reason. Anything that anybody did, it was just me.
Yeah.
You know, somebody once told me that, you know, your problem is you got to make up a challenge. If it's not a real challenge, you got to make one up. That was somebody told me.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, the thing of the matter, just from us being so competitive, you know, I had to actually sit down and look at myself when I first started working at the Mint I was a press operator, and I competed against myself. You know, I'm just that competitive nature. You know what I mean? You know, and like just going through things, and I'm a catchphrase guy because I heard somebody once say to another person, and it made genuine sense to me. They had gotten an argument, and he pulled his friend to the side. He said, "Look, don't ever let the monster make you the monster." And that made sense to me. That made general sense to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hold on to that.
Well, I've always been crazy, I guess, because I know at Amtrak, one of the guys, I told him he was doing his job wrong, and he stood up, cursed me out, and told me he was going to shoot me. He said, when I saw where you parked that, when I get to my car, I'm going to bust a cap in your ass. So
that's the problem. You got to get to your car.
Well, that's where the cops got involved.
He didn't fake that one out.
No, but that's how the cops got involved. I jumped over the desk. I guess he thought I had to run around because we had like 3 layers. I just leaped over that one, grabbed him by his throat, and we on the 8th floor. I'm dragging him out. So somebody called the cop. By the time Amtrak police got there, Mike, what are you doing? I said, he said he's gonna shoot me when he get to his car. So what are you doing? So I'm taking him to his car. And that's where y'all gonna find him at, right there beside it.
Right there, his car, yeah.
But then a couple weeks later, he shot and killed himself. And I said, wow, he should, maybe he would have shot me.
And the thing is, he probably was going through something. And
right.
He was scared to let that out or didn't have any outlet. So, I mean, the thing is, mental health is.
Yeah. Well, he shot and killed himself.
It's a lot to it, yeah.
But the other thing about, and I'm curious to know this because we're going to go over a little time, I'm going to ask you this question. See, it wasn't just about, for me, being competitive in sports. It was about a bunch of really nice guys. It was about being around a bunch of guys that had high character. You know what I mean? That had integrity. That was always challenging, you know, me to be the best version of me, despite the one thing that happened. But it was, and I'm talking about the core group. I'm not talking about everybody. So it wasn't just about sports. It's like, you know, Mike goes to Morgan. You know, Tommy gets, you know, we all start getting jobs. Vincent, we all go to college, man. You know, if I look at that group of guys, I would be hard pressed to find another group of guys who, you know, kind of was successful.
Right.
You know, as far as being people of good character, being people of integrity, holding each other accountable. For the most part, making good decisions. That was another form of competition because it's like, man, you know, you don't want to be the dude. that comes up short.
Think about this. You know, growing up in the atmosphere that we did, you know, growing up together as a group and feeding off each other. How many times have you did something in the schoolyard and somebody pulled you aside lovingly and said, look, Chris, if you do this way, it'll turn out a lot better. And I mean, it just flowed so naturally. It wasn't like, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Check this out. Try this out. You know what I mean? And see how that works for you. You know, having that kind of support, you know what I mean, where, you know, if you gonna do it wrong, somebody gonna correct you, but they gonna like, look, try it this way.
Do
You
it
know
with
what I mean?
compassion. Do it with compassion.
This is gonna be better for you. You know, it's coming from a good place. It ain't coming from a place of hate or jealousy and anything like this. It's just like, look, let's do it this way.
And I think that we all had our own separate talents, our own special, you know, and we looked at each other and said, okay, I like how he do that. I like how he did that. And we not copycatting, but I'm gonna try that way too and see how it work out. So I think we had that, I don't know what the right word is, but we had that right upbringing, respect for each other, that it was never, like I watch you, I used to watch like, Vincent got a nice stride. Let me open my arms a little bit, because I ran with my arms closed and you ran with your arms out. And I said, that should be flying around there. So let me open my arms up a little bit. I said, okay, that works. I never said that to you before.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm gonna tell you this an incident happened between me and Mike, and you probably remember. We was down Franklin Field practicing, and I was passing the stick to you, and you didn't get out fast enough, and I fell, skipped up my whole arm.
I remember that. Yeah.
I still got the marks. and look, at no point did I say, "Damn, Mike, it's your fault, man."
Right.
It was just like he helped me up. You all right? You all right? And it was like walking off because we kept practicing. I bleeding and shit.
I remember that.
You know, they went and wrapped me up and everything. I still got the marks on my arm, but it was never, I knew nothing malicious was done. You know, he just didn't get out. And that's happened to the best of us.
Right.
But I don't think I would never, it was never malicious. It was just that the core group of us were just such a high character group of guys. We were. I mean, it's like, you knew if I ever talked to one of you and I screwed up, you would tell me I screwed up. It wasn't gonna be sugar-coated. It wasn't gonna be patting me on the back saying no, you know, and that's different. And I think that's one of the things that just, you want to be good, because as Tommy and I talked about this before, when we played together, you didn't want to be the one to let everybody down.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't want to be, you wanted to make the catch, you wanted to get the hit, you wanted to make the play. You did.
Yeah.
But I know why all that took place though. And you said it, Chris, a good core group of guys. We wasn't competing with each other, but we knew we had to bring our best all the time.
Well put.
Yeah.
All the time.
I just really enjoy playing when we play other people, because you didn't have to hold back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If I see an opportunity, I can smash somebody across the middle. I'm not going to do that to one of y'all.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a little hit. I ain't going to give you a Tommy. You know what I mean? You know, Tommy going to blow your world up.
Not like when we played other people.
Yeah, not like when you playing other people. When you
that was a different blow.
cut loose. Yeah, that's different. You know what I mean? It was like, all right, I'm gonna blow his world up. His ancestors gonna think about this.
Was that Joe Moore that brought his friends from Penn State? We played one time.
Joe Moore, Penn State, Rick Ross.
Yeah,
Penn.
we went to West Philly. We played out West Philly. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember one of the guys said, "You hit me like you got pads on."
No, that's just the way we played. My cousin used to always say, he was from Logan.
Right.
You know, I played ball with his friends, and this boy, he's like twice as big as me. You know what I mean? He coming to block me, and I knocked him on his ass.
Right.
He's like, damn, man, what you doing? My cousin's like, yo, that's the way they play down north.
It's nice to know I'm not the only one who needs therapy.
He like them boys ain't playing.
Nice to know I'm not the only one who needs therapy.
Everybody needs therapy.
You're not.
Vince, you need therapy, Vince.
I know that.
I know you need therapy.
Yes.
That's the one other thing we all have in common.
I need therapy. Tommy will tell y'all, I'll be up at 2:00 in the morning watching the Super Bowl again.
Yeah. Look, I can't even tell you how many times I watched the last Super Bowl. I mean, I'll be flicking through YouTube like, man, let me watch this again.
Yeah. So yeah, we all need therapy because I'll
Yeah,
watch it.
it's funny. My wife said, "Hey, you already seen that?" Yeah, but
Same thing my wife said. You think the score's on this game? I said, I'm trying to
Yeah.
get them last
Yep.
16 points off the board.
I mean, it's that feeling that you get when you see,
Yes,
oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, and you like reliving that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess, Chris, what you're saying, or what we all are saying is that we probably needed therapy as kids. Didn't
Yeah.
get it. We counseled each
Yeah.
other. We did what we had to do to move on. So
But
I
just
don't,
think,
I'm not gonna say we did a horrible job counseling each other.
yeah,
I'm gonna say we did a great job because
look,
if you talk to anybody and tell them where we grew up at, oh my God. And you tell them, I can name you 25, 30, 50 guys that grew up in our neighborhood. That's none of us are rich. But we good upper to middle to upper middle class people
yeah,
and doing well with it. All of us.
right.
And the odds were against us, not to us. But the world just thought right off the bat, oh no, you're a black guy, a black boy, a black young man, a black man, and you grew up in North Philadelphia. And
Yeah.
we can sit there and say, the North Philadelphia that y'all talk about, that the media talk about, is not the real North Philadelphia.
It's
and
not. It's
all
not.
of us, we grew up in so-called the hood, but the hood never was in us. Yet it's in us mentally that we won't let nobody do nothing to hurt any of us, to hurt us or our families. Y'all still there?
Yeah, you good.
Oh, okay. Because all I saw was Vince. He was just frozen on the stream.
Yeah, you said the hood. You said the hood, and you froze.
No, but the hood didn't grow up. The stereotype hood did not grow up in us.
Everybody has a stereotype about growing up in Philadelphia, and it's bad to think that everybody is the same.
Exactly.
It's not.
So
we had our knuckleheads.
So I wanna. We at the time point, man. We may have to do a part 2, man. This was probably one of the better episodes, but this one I got to get it downloaded, and it's actually got to get loaded up on Spotify. So give me a couple of days, man. You be able to check it out, and we be able to hear the reruns. But
this my gym material for tomorrow.
That's a good time to look at. You working out?
I do.
Yeah. Hey, when are we going to get back together face to face?
Well, we need to because I have the hoodies, and I got the t-shirts. So yeah, the hoodies. Tommy saw the hoodie last week, 2 weeks ago.
Nice,
yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
How much are they?
Nice, thick.
50.
Nice.
Yeah, they already have them. So when we get together, I'll bring the hoodies. I'll bring the shirts. Matter of fact, Isaac already got his hoodie. Yeah, I saw Isaac last week. Yeah.
Okay.
Isaac last week. But so Mike, is up to you, man. I don't mind driving to Jersey. I can say this.
I told Mike I like that drive.
Right.
Plus, it eliminates certain people.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. That's you saying that.
34 keep driving 45 minutes, so that works out well.
That's
let us know, man. All right?
That's what we talked about. We talking about doing the picnic, but doing it down old neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gonna get some folks walk up that you really.
I'm on vacation.
Well, Fred did change his mind. He said he want to have it here now. He did say that. But initially he was like, have it at 33rd and Diamond. I'm like, oh
whatever it is, I'll be on vacation. I'll be on the cruise.
So y'all want to get together before the holidays, or because I'm good with it?
I would because I like to go get y'all these hoodies, man.
Yeah, I know James Myers said he was going to be in town. I'm gonna find out what dates he's gonna be in town. He said he'd be in town like 11 days around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, I know he was really amped about. Yeah, I like to hook up with y'all guys and this, that, and the other. So I'll give him a call probably tomorrow and check him out.
Okay.
Bam have been in the service like 40-some years, man.
Yeah. What? Well, I can see that. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we're closing this. Ray reaches out to me once in a while. His brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I will see you guys next week, same time, same channel. All right.
Well, not a problem. I'll be there. All right,
We'll
and
get-
I'll get a date together by the time we get on next Tuesday.
Perfect.
All right.
All right.
I love you guys.
I love y'all.
Love you
man.
guys
See you
too.
later. Yeah.
All right.
All right.